All right, good morning, everyone. Perfect. A little more energy. Good morning. Very good. All right, it's a privilege and a honor to be here today at Sahyadri Engineering and Management Institute. Vishal ma'am was just showing me the campus, and I couldn't stop but think that how privileged the students of this college are. I'm a Mangalore boy, grown up here, and I studied in SDM College of Business Management, and it was a great institute where I learned a lot. But the kind of infrastructure, the commitment of management to really provide the kind of exposure for this institute is unparalleled. I'm a little envious that how I wish that I had similar kind of institute to really provide me that kind of exposure, and and I'm really looking forward to really interact. I'm privileged and honored to be here today, and I'm looking forward to really have a very engaging and interactive session with each one of you. Going back, and I would like to really speak a little bit about myself first in terms of the kind of a journey which I've had, and would like to really speak a little bit about the kind of a role Vishal ma'am, Dr. Vishal Samartha has played in my life in terms of to really stand here and really speak. Life has kind of come a full circle today. A month back when Dr. Vishal Samartha called me to be a speaker in this forum, I was kind of really overwhelmed and said that, yeah, definitely I will come over and really speak. But 17 years back, my scene was very different, right? I studied in a Kannada medium school, okay? In Bondale, which is a small school called Mahatma Gandhi Centenary School. And till the age of 17, even forming a sentence in English was tough. It was very difficult to really forget about speaking. Even writing was challenging. And then after 10th standard, I kind of really got into a St. Aloysius College, which was a huge college. My first priority in that college was to really read and write and pass. And at that point of time, I took that as a challenge and started to really build up on my academics. I was an average student. At 10th standard, probably I'd scored around 67%. But first challenge which I took is that I will do really well in my PU. So I did around 77%, but the confidence level to really stand up and really speak was extremely low. First year of BBM, I joined SDM College of Business Management because I heard that there was a lot of individual attention because it was a smaller college, a lot of attention, and I needed that kind of a help. 2001, sometime in August, and again, a lot of students were extremely bright, and I was kind of really challenged with saying that I couldn't really speak or what to do. So there was a staff room. I walked into staff room, and Vishal ma'am was sitting there, and I told that, I want to improve. I want to really speak in English. I want to really get better. I don't know what to do. And there was a silence first to really say that, okay, what is this? How do I say? But Vishal ma'am stood up, held me by the shoulder, and she said that, great, it takes a lot of courage and conviction to really walk in like this and to really speak. So Rahul, don't worry. Okay, go ahead and participate in a lot of competitions. SDM had a lot of interclass competitions from first year to final year, and I did just that, right? Like I walked out and I spoke to the coordinator and gave my name for every competition. I did not know what it meant. Every competition, like all of them, and really said that, pick and speak, that, this, everything, like, painting. I couldn't really draw like an egg properly, but like everything, So I just took her word by heart and I just did it. But it's not easy, right? Like, you can give your name, but it's challenging to really stand up and really speak or even perform. First year was a disaster. Like, I stood there, made a fool of myself. Vishal ma'am would remember. A lot of competitions. I would really stand up and really speak, and everybody would laugh because would really not understand what it is. But I would take one day at a time, one competition at a time, right? Like, said that, okay, fail badly, next time, let's see what happens, okay? So with that spirit, I kind of really continued. First year, I remember one of the competition was that, you have to speak like a celebrity. So you go and pick a chit, and you get to know who is a celebrity, and you have to speak. So the celebrity was Sachin Tendulkar, okay, and there was a panel of 3 lecturers, and I have to speak like a Sachin Tendulkar. First of all, I can't really speak in English, right? Like, and then second, you have to speak like a personality. I was puzzled a little bit, so I started speaking to them in Tudu, right? Like, like Bari Kushiyatun Mulbair. So like I was like that. So I was extremely that session went very funny. My lecturers were not all that happy. What is this guy doing? But but walking out of that stage, I knew that I can't really pull through this like this for long. I have to really improve my skills. I have to improve my communication, and I got to really invest a lot more time to really upskill myself. So I formed. There was a good friend of mine called Shravan Shetty. He kind of really myself, Shravan, and other two, we formed a good study group together, and we worked together to really prepare for our MBA. Participated in a lot of competitions. Failed so many times, I'm telling you. I'm glad I failed, because that gave me a courage to really come up here and really be what I am today. So the first lesson which I would like to share with you is that, okay, failing is extremely important. You're not really competing with others, but you're competing with yourself. Your goal should be that I'm better person than what I was yesterday to today. You should really say that how I was yesterday, am I better today? Then you're making progress, right? I was not really intellectually brilliant student, but all I had is that, to really conviction to really back myself and really improve myself on a day-to-day basis, and things changed, right? By the time I reached final year, I had participated in a lot of intercollegiate competitions. Vishal ma'am and some of my seniors were kind enough to take me to a lot of intercollegiate competitions. And I couldn't really speak a lot, but I was good in mad ads. I could make funny faces and really make a lot of, and that was my USP. I kind of really banked on that. But I would keenly observe others, how would they do it, how would they do presentations, and I picked up a lot. By the time I reached final year, HP had come over to our college for a campus recruitment. And around 150 of them really sat for the entrance, and only 7 got selected, and I was one among them. And it was extremely Thank you, yeah. I was extremely excited to really, couldn't really believe that, some company could really believe in me and really hire me, right? The interviewer also asked me, saying that, I see that my rating score had showed that, my aptitude was above average, technical was above average. I was not really best. He said, like, why should I invest in you? I said that, don't really look at that. I've come from far, far behind, and if I could really sit here today in front of you and really have this conversation, there's a lot of effort has gone in. Given an opportunity, I will make this big. So believe in me. I think he liked that attitude of mine, and he invested, and I'm really grateful for that person who selected me. Since then, getting a job opportunity in HP, 15 years, fast forward, some of my career kind of accomplishments are covered, but I worked for 3 different companies. I worked for iGate Global Solutions, HP, Cargill in between, and last 10 years with Target. I've done multiple system implementation and have led large teams. And every moment, there has been a good learning. So I've been a student to learn how world is evolving, and kind of really picked up from there. And today I lead a team of around 60 people, where we take care of around 3 lakh people's payroll. My team reconciles over $70 billion in sales. I take care of non-merch payables, which is around $3 billion payments, and fairly placed well, and still continue to learn. So that's a little bit of a story, and I kind of really shared this story because a lot of you could really thought that we'll connect. We feel that is that some of you might have really studied in a Kannada medium, might have come through smaller places. You might really feel that, okay, hey, am I really good enough? Those questions will really pop up in your head, but you need to really tell yourself saying that I'll take one day at a time and I'll improve myself. And that's the key to go. And that's the spirit which will keep you going, not only to just find your first job, but also throughout your life. So on that note, so I would like to really start my presentation. Today, what I would like to really do is to really speak about, see, ITES industry was just starting when, it had just started, but it was picking up pace when I graduated. It has played a tremendous role in our generation, or in terms of really providing us an employment. A lot of middle class society kids were talented, but they were looking for a job, and ITES industry kind of really came into picture, burst into picture, and helped a lot of us to really make a career out of it, right? Like otherwise, probably would have been an accountant somewhere, just taking a general ledger, and probably not. But I think this provided a great environment. I just would like to really speak a little bit about how ITES industry has grown well in the last 15 years or so, and then I would like to really speak about how is it entirely structured here in India, and then most importantly, I would like to speak about how you can really find an employment. Or, I conduct a lot of interviews, I've probably met over 1,000 people and hired, over 100 students and, people. And what is that I really look for when I hire to hire someone in my team? So that's something which I would like to cover. Does that excite you? Yeah, looking forward to it. All right. So let's start. I don't know how it works, but all right. So, are you ready for the future? Are you? Yeah, are you? Very good. All right, so let's really speak about what is ITES industry all about, and what's the kind of impact which has been had. Let's really make it a little more interactive. Otherwise, it becomes too boring, right? Like you kind of really come every day, listen to it. You have 4 more sessions to go, right? And like it becomes too very boring. So let's really hear from. Do we have a mic for them so they can answer and things like that? All right. So what is IT? What is IT? What is ITES industry? What's your take on it? All right. So a lot of us are very excited about IT, right? Like very nice job, IT engineer, and being a manager. Most of you are students of management. So what is IT all about? Don't really look at what is there on the screen, but what's your take on it? Take initiative, raise your hand. You could be wrong, that's fine. No one knows anything about IT? Have you heard about IT? Yeah? How many of you heard? Let's start from there. Let's start from there. How many of you have heard of IT? If I raise my hand, he'll ask me to speak, right? That's all right, okay. IT industry is information technology industry, okay. ITES industry is information technology enabled services industry, right? Like so. Basically, what has happened is that there are a lot of different businesses which we operate, right? And there is retail, there is manufacturing, there is banking. Okay, a lot of businesses operate, and every industry has IT function, which is information technology, your software development, and there are a lot of other functions like core functions in terms of their operations, finance operations work, and there is a lot of other HR operations work, supply chain. So what happened is that every business wanted to really focus on their core work and wanted to really ship out their support functions like development of software and their support function to a lower cost location. So basically from all the companies which are located in US, UK, Japan, which are high cost location, they wanted to ensure that all the development work can be really moved into a low cost location like India, and they started really moving the work here. So this started when our economy started to open up in the year 1992 when a Prime Minister back then, Narasimha Rao, and Manmohan Singh liberalized our economy, and the companies could really come and really do an investment here in India, and at the same time, our companies could export services as well. Are you able to connect to this? Yeah, so this is when it started. So a lot of companies started moving their work here. So by the time around 2000, okay, we realized that there is a lot of potential in India because we have a huge population of technical graduates, at the same time management graduates, which is the population of this institute. Okay, and there was a large requirement, so a lot of hiring which was done to really pick up the students from different institutes and provide them employment and groom them and provide them services. Today, this industry has grown to be a $155 billion industry, and it is growing at a 11.14% compounded growth rate, right? So it's a very fast growing industry. If you really look at other industries, are probably growing at a 5 to 6%, but IT and ITES industry is growing really, really fast. And by 2025, this industry will be how much? Can you see this? 350. So it will double up, right? By the time you graduate and find your feet, okay, this industry will be huge, and there is a tremendous amount of opportunity which lies for MBA as well as commerce graduates. It's a huge opportunity which is available. And to really look at, it contributes to around 45% of India's service export, 38% of BPM. Basically, BPM is your business process management. Okay, a lot of finance, accounting, HR, different processes which are carried out in US instead of really they're doing it here. Headquarters are really moving the work to Bangalore or India and really carrying those work out. And the revenue which we are generating is over 45% of the overall export. In the global share is around 45%. It contributes to around 7.7% of India's GDP, and currently over 40 lakh people are employed in IT and ITES industry. And in the last year alone, which is 2007 alone, around 1,70,000 people have got employed into this industry. All right. So what's happening is that it's not only just that, but also it is fueling the growth of a lot of startups. A lot of startups which are, every young entrepreneur want to really start a business. Okay, IT industry is really supporting that. So all I would like to say is that students who are sitting here, some of you will find an employment in this industry, right? Does this industry excite you guys? How many it excites? Yeah, okay. I see one person. Good, let's speak later. Good, it takes a lot of courage to really raise your hand up as well. That's where the entire journey starts. So all I would like to say is that there is a lot of opportunity, and if you are really looking for an employment, this industry is looking to really take you in. GIC and BPM service provider landscape in India. So basically, what happens is that, now say for example, there is a company in US, okay, like my company, okay, I work for Target Corporation. Okay, we have 350,000 employees in US, out of which 18,000 employees work in headquarter operations, and there are 3,000 employee worth of work is been sent to Bangalore, right? You're getting the equation? So there is 18,000 employees who work in headquarters, out of which they've taken around 3,000 people worth of work and sent to Bangalore, and I am a one among them, right? Like I have an employment one among them. So there are two type of business models which exist today. Okay, the first one is the GIC, which is the global in-house business centers, right? There is a ongoing business which is going on. They pick out, start their own center here in India, right? They start their own center. Okay, let's really take a look at which are the companies which are operating today in India. Okay, you see that from representation from all different industries. Okay, I work for a company called Target, which is a retailer. AXA is an insurancer. Tesco is an insurance. Cisco is a technology provider. Retail, once again, Amazon, technology company. So you see a very big list of prominent companies out here, right? Right? These are world-class companies which have their headquarters in US, but they come back and really set up their own centers here in Bangalore, provide the same kind of a culture which they have in US, okay, here for the employees here, and try and really get that value. Okay, so that's the kind of an environment and that's the kind of a landscape which is there. But if a business doesn't want to start their own center, then they have another provision. They have service providers like we have Genpact, TCS, Wipro, Infosys, WNS. These are the companies which will say that, hey, you need not to set up your own centers. We have everything set up. You give your business to us, right? And you have to pay per transaction, or you have to pay per the FTE, per employee, and we'll kind of really provide the services which you require for IT and ITES. All right, are you getting the distinction here? So first model is the GIC model where the companies come and really set up their own centers. The second setup is where they have to just send the work across. The complete setup is available, but they have to really pay for their services. So these are two different models which are available, and you might really find employment in one of these kind of a setups. Okay. The advantage of really working for GIC is that you will kind of really feel the similar culture what you have in the parent company. Like if it's in US or Germany, you have a similar kind of a culture. Make a conscious effort to really set that up that way. Here, it's a more service oriented, a little aggressive, but you learn a ton in being in a service industry as well. Let's really look at next in terms of where are the headquarters are set up and where are the delivery centers, right? When you really look at, most of the businesses are coming from North America. I think people who are sitting in the back cannot really see, but let me just spell this out. So North America contributes to around 68% of our business coming in, right? All American businesses. What's the dollar value versus, rupee versus dollar value? Very good. Yeah, around 65 too. So it's extremely expensive to really do a business, to really pay for an employee there versus really doing it here. India is around 3 to 4 times cheaper. Right. So 68% of our business coming from North America, 24% from Europe, and another expensive country is Japan. So a lot of businesses are coming from there. And where are they setting up their centers? Bangalore, very close to Bangalore, right? A lot really find yourself in terms of might really be working for a North America company in Bangalore, like I do, right? I work for a Minneapolis-based company. I got a chance to really work there for a year. So best part about this industry is that you gotta become a global trotter, right? Because the companies are spread across the world. If you like to really travel, experience different cultures, different country, okay, this is a great industry to be in. I have traveled to US multiple times, and I've lived in Minneapolis, USA for a year, working on a project. I got a chance to really be there with my wife as well. So it's a brilliant industry to be in. All right, excited? I don't really see anything. This entire slide I put together saying, okay, let me just get everyone excited. But all right, cool. So this is the landscape, and we have a bright future ahead of us, and that's the kind of environment which we are in right now. However, employability, it's a crisis. What is employability? Are you able to hear me? Is there okay. What is employability? ability to get an employment. And it's a crisis. Why is it a crisis? Sorry? Competition. There's a competition. Of course, there is some amount of competition. So the crisis is not that there is not adequate jobs. There are a lot of jobs. When I hire, I have a lot of open positions. Basically, I'm looking to hire, but I don't really find a lot of candidates who are ready to find an employment, ready for employment. They just don't have it in them to work for the company. Let's really look at what newspapers say. I don't know whether it is visible, but let me say, less than 20% of engineers are employable for software jobs. Basically, 1 out of 5 can find an employment and 4 are not ready for an employment. In order to really hire in my own company, to fill one position, I have to meet at least 15 people, and they're not ready. There's something which is really missing, and they don't really meet the criteria, and I kind of really reject them. That's not only, don't really take a sigh of relief because you're commerce and a management graduates. Same scene with MBAs as well. Unemployable managers. Because, again, employability. They're not really ready. You might say that I'm ready to work, but your qualities are not yet really employ you. Okay? A lot of us put in a lot of hard work to study and things like that, but when you go and sit in an interview, I don't know what. Why? Do you see that happening? Yeah? A lot of us go through that and we'll figure out why. So what does it take to make yourself employable? Experience, learn. What else? Skills. Very good. All right. So what I've done is that I've kind of really put a simple model. This is not only just relevant for IT or IT industry. This is relevant for all the different industries, and this is the basic structure which really goes into it, and I would like to really share that. There are 3 key ingredients which really go into make yourself employable and succeed. The first one is your attitude. Second one is knowledge. And third one is skill, which kind of really gets together to drive excellence. So when you walk into an interview, or let me just tell you from what employer looks for. I'm running a business, or just put yourself in an employer's shoes. There are a lot of supply, right? Like there are a lot of people who are looking for a job, and I would like to really pick the best. And I would like to really pick a person who understands my business well, okay? Who is ready to really come and pick up the job right away. Yes, I'm willing to invest a little bit of a training, but I don't want to invest in a person who has a bad attitude or knowledge is very weak, there is no at all. Do I want to really invest on it? No. So these are the key criteria which goes into it, and I see that how ready is the person to really find himself employable. Based on which, okay, you kind of get your first break and then continue to learn and improve and grow from there. Let's really go into each one of them, really look at what it really takes to really build key attitude, knowledge, and skill. Okay, this is from my own experience. This is not an exclusive list, but these are some of the key factors which I have really put together. Attitude. What is attitude? Let's really get some mics out there, and I want to make it more interactive. What is attitude? Come on. Yes, you. Go ahead.
It's a behavior towards a specific thing, how we react to that situation. It may be
Right.
positive or negative.
Yeah. So attitude, he says that it's your outlook towards a particular situation. Attitude is a little thing, but that makes a big difference, right? So it's your basically outlook towards life. Are you positive? Are you negative? Would you like to really